Good afternoon, dearly beloved. We're gathered here today in Maui to say goodbye to our friend Spooky, our cute little boy here. He's 14 years old, and we had him for 10 years. And when we bought the house in 2004, Spooky and Mickey came with it, as you probably know. And it was a great experience. We had Gizmo for 6.5 years, and he passed away in a butterfly. Beautiful butterfly. It was Spooky sent that. And Gizmo passed away from enlarged heart. We were on vacation in New Jersey, and then Spooky passed away probably of the same thing, just on March 1st. So finally got him home today, and he went for his last ride. He always loved to ride with Dad in the car, and he always stood on my lap and stuck his little head out the window and caught the breeze. So it was always great to go riding with him. He didn't like to be in the passenger seat. He would always jump over the console, or he would always scratch my arm until I grabbed him and took him over. Then he would stand up in my lap, and every time I rolled down the window, he would jump up and stick his head out. So he really liked that. And so just wanted to honor Spooky's life and give him a good farewell. And, it's been really hard for me because he died on March 1st, and I went to the store at Costco and went to have lunch, and then came home and he had passed. So Greg had called me that day, and he just had a premonition to call. Right, he was going to church, and he said I better call Charlie, and so he probably knew something was wrong. So he came over, and it was nice that he came over and comforted me. And then we decided to bring him to the Central Maui Animal Clinic, and they held him for us until we could find a nice casket, because you can't really find these on Maui too easily. So this I ordered from Ohio. So it's a little bit different than his brother was buried in, but it's very similar. It's a vault, so it has another cover that goes over it. And I spent 5 hours today digging his grave, make sure it's the right size. So it took a couple tries because it wouldn't fit in quite the first time. So it's pretty big at the edges. So I got it right now, and finally got started with the ceremony. It's supposed to start at noon, and we're almost at 3, but I'll probably be late to my own funeral too. So, so thank you all for coming, and just wanted to share Spooky's life. I know a lot of you know Spooky, and you've seen him before and spent time with him, so you know how much of a loving dog he was, and he was like my child. I treated him like my son, and he was like our kid. So I really loved him a lot, him and Gizmo. And sometimes I'm out in the yard here, and I'm working on my plants, and I look up there and I can still see Gizmo and Spooky sticking their heads out. I think we have a picture on one of these charts here with it's Gizmo and Spooky sticking their head out, and they always stuck their heads out of there. So we first came here. We came with our, the house closed, and then we moved in the next day. So Spooky and Gizmo were overnight by themselves. They stayed in the lanai, so they were really happy when we showed up, and we were the new owners. All the house was already made. The beds were made. The furniture was there. All we had to do was bring our suitcases, and we had 2 dogs, and that was the best part about the whole deal. I told everybody we bought 2 dogs for a lot of money and got a house with it. So, we're really lucky to have Spooky and Gizmo, and it feels like it's the end of an era because 10 years. Spooky was with me for 10 years. He's with us, so it's a long. Mickey here?
Mickey needs a shade.
So that's a big chunk of your life. 10 years. I've been alive for 44 years. That's like a quarter of my life, and so we've been through a lot of things together. Gizmo had some health challenges with his breathing and his heart, and then Spooky in 2009 had a really bad problem, and we almost lost him in 2009. And his doctor's an excellent surgeon, Dr. Willauer, at the Central Maui Clinic, and he was in a convention on the mainland. So I actually got on the computer, and I was contacting. It was a Friday afternoon, and Spooky's tongue was hanging out of his mouth. He couldn't breathe, and what happened was his throat had closed up because he was debarked when he was a baby, him and Gizmo. And back in those days, they used to do that when they barked too much, because the neighbor, the guy across the street, used to call the police all the time. So that was one of the only solutions. And so the scar tissue built up, and he couldn't breathe. So So his doctor came back on a Sunday, I think it was, and said, we have to do the surgery right away. So he did it, and I said, just whatever you can do to save his life. And he said, there's a 50-50 chance he'll make it. And here we are, you know, what, 2009, almost 5 years later, and he was still going. So Spooky was a fighter, and he was, and Kathy, who owned, you know, there was previous owner, Kathy and Craig, and they said that Spooky always had, you know, he was like the runt of the litter, so he always had problems, and he always had ear infections, and you know, we thought he wasn't going to make it that long, but he hung in there for 14 years, so it was good. He had a really good life, and you know, we wish it could have been longer. We were hoping for 15, but every time he had a birthday, we had a big celebration and put the hats and you know, all the decorations and stuff like that. So we made it special for him. And it was, the last one was a really special one, 14. And, you know, we had no idea that was going to be his last birthday. So that's good. So anyway, so yeah, that's a story about Spooky and his brother Gizmo and how they came into our life, and it was really special. You know, I mean, not many people buy a house and get the dogs with it. And you know, I had dogs when I was a kid. I had 2 French poodles, but we were going to adopt a dog when we lived in Maui Meadows, and then we went to the Humane Society and found a cute little dog, and we were ready. We bought the rope to run around the yard, and the landlord said we could have a dog, and then we went. Then we got a call the next day from the Humane Society, and they said the owner came and claimed it. So we were happy that the owner found a dog, but we decided it wasn't the right time. So you know, that was probably about 15 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. So and then we got Spooky and Gizmo 2004. So that was a great thing. And now I don't think I could ever live without a dog again after having these guys in my life for, you know, 10 years. And we adopted Mickey. See here? We adopted Mickey in 2010 after Gizmo passed away. Spooky was really sad, and he was really lonely because him and Gizmo were together the whole life from birth, as you can see from when they were babies. So they were actually from Honolulu. They were born in Honolulu, and then I guess Kathy and Craig bought them, or their daughter bought them, and brought them to Maui. So they were raised in Maui, but they were attached to each other. So when Gizmo died, Spooky was really upset. You know, understandably, really upset when he lose a sibling, and that was all he knew. So he was by himself, and we had to go to work, and I see, you know, his head turned to the side like this, and you know, he was so sad, you know, that we had to leave. So I felt really bad. So I put an ad on online and said, we're looking for a Pomeranian. We just lost our Pomeranian, and about an hour and a half later, this girl responded from Haiku and said, I have a Pomeranian. I have to give him away because we can't find a rental. And it was really hard for them. They made a beautiful blanket we still have with all the names and, you know, all about Mickey. You know, be good, Mickey, and you know, we miss you, we love you. So we wound up adopting him, and I cried my eyes out the whole way home. They just gave him to us. They said you can't put a price on love, so that was really special. But that was when she sent me a picture of Mickey initially, I was blown away because he looked like Mandy said, he looked just like Gizmo almost. So I was really surprised, you know, how much he looked like Gizmo. And so I think maybe Gizmo sent him to me, you know, because he knew how sad I was, and Spooky was sad. So at first they didn't get along very well. Spooky used to sit by the bicycles inside the house, and he would stay in the corner and not come out. And Mickey would be running around the house, and he would go shishi on everything. He would mark his territory because it was new to him. And then Spooky would, you know, go after him because Spooky was always following Gizmo, and Gizmo was the alpha dog. But then after Gizmo died, Spooky was alone, and then Mickey comes into the picture. So Spooky, I guess, felt like he was the alpha dog, so he had to mark his territory everywhere Mickey did. So I went through a lot of paper towels that month. But after a while, then it got better, and they started getting along. But for about a month, they wouldn't even look at each other or come near each other, right? So, but then they started loving each other. We saw them kissing each other, and you know, Mickey always tried to kiss Spooky, and Spooky sometimes would say, "Leave me alone," but he always tried, you know. So they wound up really loving each other. And Mickey was really sad that day when I came home, and Spooky was dead. So it was really sad, and I was sad too. So anyway, that's a little history, and you know, just I felt like Spooky was going to come home and still be alive, and that's why, you know, it took me 2 months to, you know, it took me about a week, maybe 2 weeks to get the casket and find a good casket. I wanted to get the best one, you know, similar to Gizmo's, but they don't make those anymore because the company stopped making them. So this is like the next best one, but it has a vault that goes over it, and it's very secure. And he's right next to Gizmo. Gizmo's buried just to the right there, and Spooky's going to be right next to him. And then I found this little bone when I was digging today, a little plastic dog bone. So I think maybe Gizmo gave that to me as a gift or something when I was digging for his brother. So Spooky will be laying with his brother, and I felt really bad every time I went past the Central Maui Clinic, and you know, I used to take the street that goes through there by Walmart just so I could, you know, wave and say hi to Spooky, you know, just passing by. But I felt really bad, and now this will give me some closure at least, because you know, I know he's in a safe place, he's with his brother, but I didn't feel good about him being in the freezer. But at the same time, it was really difficult, and I didn't want to cremate him after being in the freezer just like Gizmo. So this is the best thing for him, is when we put all his toys in with him, and his favorite treats. He likes the Trader Joe's chicken sticks that my parents sent from New Jersey, and all the goodies. So I'm going to put a bunch of treats in his favorite toy that I actually have a picture I took on March 1st. I just found on my phone that Spooky was with his favorite toy, with a little toy, so I'm going to put that toy with him. But so yeah, we noticed on February 28th, I guess, was it 28th this year? It wasn't a leap year, so we noticed that Mickey was, Spooky was acting really funny, like he was looking up in the air and not really looking straight at us like he usually does. So we knew something was wrong, and the next day he passed away. So maybe he knew, maybe Gizmo was calling him, or God was calling him, or something. You know, but it sounded like looked like he was like looking up to heaven almost. So we thought that was a little strange, but now I guess it makes sense. You know, maybe he already knew that it was time. And I guess I felt really guilty because I could have, you know, he was breathing heavy that morning, and I still went to Costco, and you know, I had no idea that he was going to pass away. Otherwise, I would have stayed with him. But at the same time, people say I could have taken him to the vet, but he'd be poked with needles, and he still might not make it. And who wants to be poked with needles, you know, the last couple hours of life? So at least he died peacefully with Mickey and on his bed. So it's a little windy here. Maybe that's Spooky doing that, telling us he's okay. So I'll let everybody come up and say something if they want also, but I just have a few things I just printed out that I want to read, and I know some of us are on time constraints because we started late, so if you have to leave at a certain time, that's fine. You know, if anybody has somewhere to go, we'll understand. Right, Spook? He's just happy you came, so thank you all very much for showing up. It really means a lot to me, and Miko and Spooky and Gizmo and Mickey. Mickey, where are you? There you go.
In the shade.
Mickey's in the shade. It's really hot outside. You probably need some water. And so yeah, we're really thankful that you came out here in short notice, relatively short notice, and it's kind of you know, we didn't really plan this too well. And Gizmo's was more planned out, but you know, thought it would be easier the second time dealing with, but it's never easy. It's just as difficult dealing with Spooky's death as it was for Gizmo. So anyway, I have a few things I want to read here, and then we'll play a few songs and say a prayer. And if anybody else wants to say anything about Spooky or ask any questions, please feel free. We got some roses here. I just bought some red roses for Spooky, so you can come up and give him a rose if you want. So this is called Paw Prints, Left by You. You no longer greet me as I walk through the door. You're not there to make me smile, to make me laugh anymore. Life seems so quiet without you. You are far more than a pet. You are a family member, a friend, a loving soul I'll never forget. It will take time to heal, for the silence to go away. I still listen for you and miss you every day. You are such a great companion, constant, loyal, and true. My heart will always wear the paw prints left by you. It's true. I really miss him. I used to sleep on our bed, and he always slept on my feet, and I didn't want to move, so I slept in one spot, you know, all the time because I didn't want to hurt him. And I still do that, you know, like he's still sleeping on my feet. So I think he's still there. And then there's some other good ones I found. I'm sorry, I'm not very well prepared today, but just tried to get some good, good, something inspirational maybe that would be nice for Spooky. Special friend. I came home from work after a long, hard day, but the house felt so empty I couldn't stay. So I grabbed my coat and hopped in the car, then drove to the park. It wasn't far. I walked down the path and spotted a bench. Then it started to rain. Guess who got drenched? I dried the bench, then sat down to rest. I looked up in the tree and saw a bird's nest. I watched two dogs take a break for a drink. As my mind started wandering, I started to think. I thought about times from back in the past when the fun we had would last and last. The kids would see us as we walked in the park, and they'd come a-running as you let out a bark. With your friendly bark and wagging tail, off you'd go, playing on the trails. You were so kind and gentle, never a pest. In everybody's book, you were simply the best. Always there for one in need, as you did your best to do a good deed. I got up from the bench and walked to my car. Then I drove back home. It wasn't very far. I walked in the house and pulled up a chair, then opened a window to get some fresh air. I went to the kitchen to get a drink, then sat in the chair and began to think. My life has been blessed since the day we met. To me, you are one very special pet. The Lord decided to put us together. I'll always be thankful forever and ever. You are my star, my guiding light, my eyes and ears in the black of night. I look to the day we'll be together again, just me and my very special friend, Spooky. I love you, Spooky. Should probably take that too. All right. And this one is called A Golden Goodbye. It was written for a golden retriever named Shako, but I actually liked it, so I'm going to use it for Spooky. Couldn't find one that was written for Pomeranian, so I'll adapt. I sit and try to write the words I want your heart to hear, hoping to find some comfort in the fact that you're not here. I look out into the open field that you once occupied, which is here. You loved being outside. And knowing now that field is empty because of my love, you've died, I do believe with all my heart that your soul has gone to be with all the other angel dogs that you were meant to see. We will have to stay behind until God calls us to, so do not be afraid that He's only called for you. The water is still in the pond you played, and your bed is so empty where your pretty head laid. Our bed is too empty where you once lay between the two people who loved you and now only dream. That one day our eyes will shut one last time, and you will come greet us, angel of mine. Until then, I'll keep trying to see through my tears with memories you left us to reflect through the years. We'll never forget 1 minute we spent of loving and laughing, of places we went. I was just talking to him about that on the way over here. And I dread the day that your scent disappears, for it's proof to me, Spooky, that you were just here. But one day will come when we'll start to see through the pain of the moment and remember just you. Now you go and play, and you look down when you can, remembering we love you, and this isn't the end. Love you, Spooky. Okay, here's a little short one. You doing okay on time? Okay. Paw prints left by you. Anybody okay on water? Yeah. Paw prints left by you. You no longer greet me as I walk through the door. You're not there to make me smile, to make me laugh anymore. Life seems so quiet without you. You were far more than a pet. You were a family member, a friend, a loving soul I'll never forget. It will take time to heal, for the silence to go away. I still listen for you and miss you every day. You were such a great companion, constant, loyal, and true. My heart will always wear the paw prints left by you, Spooky. These are all very true, very relevant to how I feel about Spooky, so that's why I chose them. I looked through a lot of different poems, but these are really good. Okay. There's a couple more, and then we'll play some songs, and then I think I've said everything I want to say about Spooky and Gizmo, and I could talk for hours about them, how much joy and love they brought to us, and just how what a great experience it was, and buying the house, and we love being here in this house and the location next to the field. But the most special thing was having Spooky and Gizmo, because who would have known that two dogs could just just make your life so special, and just they were just great dogs. I couldn't wait to come home every time I went to work or was out. I couldn't wait to come home and see them. The same for Mickey. Just really special. So yeah, dogs are special. Animals are special. And like I said, I don't think I could ever be without an animal again. Although it's so difficult to lose them. I have friends that say they'll never have a pet because the loss is so hard, or they've had a pet and they lost pets and it's just too difficult. They don't want to deal with that anymore. And I can understand that totally, because this is so difficult. It took me 2 months to actually come to the realization that Spooky is not going to be with us anymore. I just thought he was on vacation or something, so. But now, today when I picked him up and they handed him to me in the casket, that was it. I just broke down, and they handed me some tissues, and it was really hard. But that's, it's all part of life, I guess. It's going to happen to all of us. And, at least he's peaceful now, and he's not having trouble breathing, and his little heart is happy, and his soul's in heaven. So, and I believe in Rainbow Bridge, so when when we go to heaven, I'll probably see Spooky and Gizmo and all the animals, Sherbert and Cupcake, my French poodles I used to have when I was a kid. So there's something to look forward to there. So here's a little prayer. Heavenly Father, Creator of all things, thank you for having entrusted us with a loyal pet. Thank you for letting him teach us unselfish love. Thank you for the memories that we recall to brighten our days for the rest of our lives. Finally, in gratitude, we return our pet to you. Amen.
Amen.
That was nice. That was. And then Rainbow Bridge is what I was talking about. I'm sure everybody has heard of it. Just this side of heaven is a place called Rainbow Bridge. When an animal dies that has been especially close to someone here, that pet goes to Rainbow Bridge. There are meadows and hills for all our special friends, so they can run and play together. There's plenty of food, water, and sunshine. And our friends are warm and comfortable. All the animals who had been ill and old are restored to health and vigor. Those who are hurt or maimed are made whole and strong again, just as we remember them in our dreams of days and times gone by. So Spooky's breathing very easily now. The animals are happy and content, except for one small thing. They each miss someone very special to them, who had to be left behind. They all run and play together, but the day comes when one suddenly stops and looks into the distance. His bright eyes are intent, his eager body quivers. Suddenly he begins to run from the group, flying over the green grass, his legs carrying him faster and faster. You have been spotted, and when you and your special friend finally meet, you cling together in joyous reunion, never to be parted again. The happy kisses rain upon your face, your hands again caress the beloved head, and you look once more into the trusting eyes of your pet, so long gone from your life, but never absent from your heart. Then you cross Rainbow Bridge together. So it sounds like a beautiful place. I'm looking forward to going there and seeing Spooky and Gizmo. Okay. I'm not going to worry about that anymore. So just maybe 2 more, and then I'll play the music, and then if anybody else wants to come up and speak. Tribute to a best friend. Sunlight streams through window pane onto a spot on the floor. Then I remember it's where you used to lie, but now you are no more. Our feet walk down a hall of carpet, and muted echoes sound. Then I remember it's where your paws would joyously abound. A voice is heard along the road and up beyond the hill. Then I remember it can't be yours, your golden voice is still. But I'll take vacant spot of floor and empty muted hall, and lay them with the the absent voice, an unused dish along the wall. I'll wrap these treasured memorials in the blanket of my love and keep them warm. My best friend until we meet above. Okay, so there's some really nice poems. That's all I'm going to read right now. But let's play a couple of songs I want to play, and then if anybody else wants to say something.
If that's okay, then that you wanna move to the location? Rosary beads, that what?
But I guess I love touch. Would have given up and left. Well, maybe you held my hand soft. So goodbye, my friend. I'll never see. Life's so fragile, life's so cruel. We can't hold on, never try. We watch how quickly it disappears, and we never know
Goodbye, my friend. Looks like he's resting and very comfortable now. Does anybody else want to come up and say anything?
I remember 10 years ago doing the final walkthrough on the home up here in the Lanai, and Charlie and Yomiko, I don't think, I know, were more happy to get their 2 new children than having their house closed. I just want to say, Spooky, thank you for 10 years of loyal companionship and love, and you'll never be forgotten, and God bless, and thank you for being part of Charlie's and Yomiko's life. Never forget you. Always love you. Amen.
That's good. else would like to come up and say something or give Spooky a rose? Sorry for the loud noise. I didn't plan this thing.
I give this rose to Spooky to honor his life and his love and friendship for Charlie and Yumiko. And my blessings for love and happiness.
Amen. Thank you.
Spooky, I want to thank you because I know you're in heaven right now and you're giving Yumiko and Charlie a lot of strength and love. And one day we will all be reunited and we'll be playing, running together. I ask God, I know He already received you and you're up there in heaven. Thank you for so much happiness that you brought to Charlie and Yumiko. Love you forever until we meet again.
Amen. Thank you. Want some time?
Well, thank you for coming, everybody, and I really appreciate it for the Spooky. It has been a long journey. Actually, I couldn't believe that he made it 14 years, and I think he gave us a lot of things. Also, the more than the house purchase, just memories are wonderful. So, of course, we never forget Gizmo and Spooky with us, and then I got this still. So. I just pray for Spooky, just sleep peaceful, and then again, someday we united. So thank you for coming. So Mickey, Yumiko give the rose.
And I just want to say I really love all of you, and I love Spooky so much, and I miss him a lot. I think about him every day, and I wish he was still here. I know it's part of life, and it gets easier with time. But he was such a good little dog. It's so sweet and loving, and he just was always so full of love and unconditional love. Always happy to see you. So I really miss him and his brother Gizzy. And now they're together now, so they're happy together and no more suffering. But I really love him, and I feel good that everybody showed up today and we're able to give him a beautiful ceremony, because it was really important for me to do this for him. And I really love him a lot. So thank you everybody for coming. I love you, and love you, Spook. Buddy. I say I treat them better than my son. I treat my dogs better than kids, because I don't have children. So I guess Spooky's my son. That's what I call him anyway. So I'm really lucky. I'm really lucky to have had Spooky and Gizmo. It's so hard to lose them. But, it's just I guess we lived a good life. You have to look at all the good times that we had together and all the fun trips we took. And I remember after Gizmo died, I took him up to Kula and went and had pizza at this Paleo pizza place, a little truck stop, and everybody loved Spooky because he looked like a little bear. And even when Yumiko was carrying him out of the groomers one day, some lady thought he was a monkey. She said, "Is that a monkey?" Because he looks like a little bear. And a lot of my friends on Facebook call him an Ewok. He looks like an Ewok when his head was shaved, but he was just adorable little guy, and just so sweet and full of love, and he he loved everybody. He's definitely going to be missed. I miss him so much. So I love you, Spooky. I'll see you again. Soon. Okay. See you with your brother Giz. You have him. No more suffering. I love you, little buddy. Such a sweet little dog. He always slept with his tongue out too. And he had little funny little things he would do. When he would sneeze, he would just shake his head and shake his whole body when he sneezed, like that. So he was pretty cute little guy. He had a lot of different personalities, like a lot of neat traits that were really cute and loving. So there's one more song that I heard, and every time I think of Spooky, I play it on YouTube. And excuse me, when I was working at the Andaz Hotel for a couple of months in banquets, there was a gentleman there that sang at a wedding called Griffin House, and it was right after Spooky had passed away, so it was very difficult for me to hear that song. I got very emotional, but it's a beautiful song, so I wanted to play it and just end today's beautiful ceremony with the song. Unless anybody has anything else. You can hear it on top of the boogum too. Yeah.
Sometimes dreams they don't come true. I was scared of that when I met you. I stayed patient and I was telling you. Turn my life.
Oh.
Mickey came over to say goodbye too. When we brought Spooky home earlier, he was looking at him. Yes? You miss Spooky too? He's saying goodbye to Spooky. I think he sees some people in the street, so if anybody have anything to add, or? Okay, thank you very much for coming. I'm gonna probably bury Spooky, around sunset time when it starts getting a little darker. I'm gonna try to make. I bought these clay paw prints, impressions for his paws, and you could actually make indentations of his paws. We did that for Gizmo. Actually, the vet, the Central Maui Clinic, there was a young lady there that was a vet tech, and she actually made the prints of Gizmo's paws, and I liked it so much. That I want to do for Spooky too. So hopefully, I don't know, it's going to be very difficult for me to do that emotionally to be. So we'll see. But I like to have his paws, and we can make Christmas ornaments, and every Christmas I can remember Spooky and Gizmo. So right, Mickey. So anyway, so I'm going to do that and probably bury him later tonight. I dug the holes, about 5 hours to dig the hole out. Probably if I had one of those machines that you're hearing in the field, it'd probably be a little quicker. But I used the shovel, the old-fashioned way, and I got blisters to show. But it's definitely worth it for my little baby here, my little son. So I bought this statue of St. Francis. He's the protector of animals, St. Francis de Assisi, and this cute little nun with a dog. I like that too. There's a nice little Catholic store in Wailuku I discovered, so I bought these. And when Gizmo and Spooky were both having health issues, I went to the St. Teresa's Church and bought little statues of St. Francis. And this butterfly keeps visiting us. It must be a sign from above. But I believe in prayer. And when Spooky was sick, Gizmo and I went to the statue at St. Teresa's, the statue of Mary, and we prayed. And the same thing when Spooky was sick. When Gizmo was sick, Spooky and I went over there and prayed, and he made it. They were both in the hospital a couple of times, so we're really gonna miss this little guy, and he was just a huge part of my life for 10 years, and I'm just glad today he could come home and be with us here, and I could come and visit him every day now, and Mickey misses him a lot too, right, Mickey? He misses his little brother, or his big brother, actually. Mickey's 6 years old. So now at least he'll be home, and we know he's safe and comfortable, and he's got a beautiful lining in here. He could, rest, and the clinic gave him a beautiful little blanket or towel they put over him. So they really were really nice to him, and they kept him there. He kept him safe. Okay, so thank you again. Appreciate everybody coming, and I'm gonna really miss my little buddy here. I miss him so much, and think about him all the time. And I got a lot of pictures and a lot of videos of him. And Mickey misses him too. I think it was really great having Mickey. I think that really helped Spooky extend his life, because he just has had a friend to be with, his new brother. So, and then we call Gizmo and Spooky, we call the Pomeranian brothers. So they were the two original Pomeranian brothers, but then after Gizmo passed, and Mickey and Spooky became the Pomeranian brothers. So we love our Pomeranians, I guess. My uncle had Pomeranians growing up, my Uncle Frank, but I never knew much about them until we bought this house. And like Greg said, it was the best day of my life. And Kathy and Craig, who owned the house previously, she said she prayed on it every day, and she was so happy that we decided to take the dogs. And as soon as I saw them, I just fell in love. So I knew that was meant to be. I was meant to have Spooky and Gizmo, and Mickey as well. So, and I think Mickey came into our life, for a reason too. So definitely helped me a lot. So thank you all again for coming. It was hope you enjoyed the ceremony. It was beautiful to have you all here, and I hope Spooky enjoyed it. And, I hope he knows how much we loved him and how much he was loved. So thank you, and me aloha, me ke aloha pumehana, Spooky. May you rest in peace, little buddy. I love you. And we'll see you in Rainbow Bridge with Gizzy. It's just how he slept. He looks just like when he's sleeping at the foot of my bed. So thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Love you guys, and we love Spooky. We love you very much, Spooky. Hope you can hear us. I'm sure you can.